With all the allegations and lawsuits Diddy is currently facing, you'd be surprised to know that his list of crimes keeps expanding.
Distribute, publish their own music. They was trying to bring their money together and do that. And what I know of is that, and Jay Z was a part of this, because I heard Shiv probably spoke on this too, that Jay Z and Puff had somebody write something up to say that they was trying to monopolize, I think it was get a monopoly on the industry and start their own distribution company. And they told the higher ups, and that's when all those companies start going down, start coming up with federal charges and all kinds of, things that's happened to them. You've seen it with Irv Gotti now. You've seen it with Rockefeller breaking up and all that shit like that. That's what I was talking about.
Let's just say that his good friend Jay Z has always had his back, to the extent that both of them have even gone as far as cooperating with the FBI to ensure their competition was completely eliminated.
Fox News alert, we're learning a lot more about the massive federal sex trafficking raid at Diddy's homes in Miami and LA. According to TMZ, the first thing the feds did once they got to Diddy's property was immediately disable his surveillance system and seize all his footage. And it wasn't just security footage they were after. Homeland Security also confiscated hard drives, phones, and other electronics, focusing on finding photos, emails, and names linking others to the alleged sex trafficking operation. These tactics straight out of the Epstein playbook. Seize the footage, but then what? Bury it? Blackmail with it? We don't know. Will anybody ever know what was on Diddy's cameras? And will this investigation lead to indictments that go higher up the food chain? And how high? Politicians, athletes, celebrities, music executives, all were recorded inside Diddy's parties. Officials say that Diddy's alleged victims have not been holding back during their interviews and are telling investigators everything. We'll keep you up to date on all of these details and more as soon as we hear them.
Now, reports suggest that the FBI has seized security footage from Diddy. Given the rumors about Diddy being an FBI informant, people are questioning whether the authorities are gathering evidence or concealing it.
Jay Z appointing her head of Rock Nation, knowing her checkered past with the DEA, FBI, and all that. How do you feel about that?
What else he gonna do? You working with him, what else you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? She gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? That's what's just like suspicious to me. You know what I mean? Homegirl got a strong position in it. And it's crazy that you know her background. And you know what we stand for. So it's just self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? You working with them, or you gotta be working with them. As far as I'm concerned, Rock Nation is run by the government. You know what I'm saying? Why would people think the government don't run businesses? You don't think by right now that they got a major rapper that's a snitch, that's an informant? Oh, yeah. You don't think in 2020 that they don't have a major rapper that's an informant? Come on. I think this run by the government. I think that the government has to make money. You got to understand the people that these companies make money for. You got to look at some of these cases these niggas had. How niggas getting around certain federal charges.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, you start to question all that. Like, end of the day, that shit don't, it's not right. It's not right. And I mean, I call a spade all day. But at the end of the day, there's no way possibly you can see and tell me on my case that they ain't got no conversations with Jay and Henry at all. It don't make sense. So at some point, they got a hold of him, and he's been working ever since. Desiree, she good. She in a good position, always been in a good position. Don't know when they caught them up, but she in a good position. You know what I mean?
Recently, Haven Herbie, Jay-Z's former close friend, has stoked the controversy by alleging that Jay-Z's entertainment company, Rock Nation, is government-run. He suggests that Jay-Z is indeed an informant for the authorities. using his position for his own gain.
Filming a movie about the making of reasonable doubt.
You know, that's a rough one because as much as I want to, and my principles and the way I was taught would never let me, only because of what's being said about the people around me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just because of what I've gone through with the government, and when I'm watching Biggs go through, he's locked up for weed, and what Irv Gotti went through, and we were all kind of cool. It just seems mathematically makes sense for me to stay over here until he gets clear. You know, and I can't have had a conversation with him, so I can't judge him at this point. But it's gonna be hard for me to come around him while he has that coming. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? And that's my nigga. You know.
Yeah, because there's so much to talk about in a movie like that. I mean, you guys.
Just again, it's just something I can't really.
Right.
I want to do it.
Yeah, because even before Reasonable Doubt, there was a journey before that needs to be talked about. You know.
I mean, I'm gonna definitely do the movie about Cam and I's relationship in the street because our business was.
That's not all, though. Dame Dash has publicly claimed that Jay Z has connections with the government, which he believes is how Jay Z has amassed so much power and influence. This situation is reminiscent of Diddy, who seems to have managed to avoid accountability for his past actions. Recently, the LA police stated they couldn't arrest Diddy over the Cassie video because it was too old. Additionally, a photo surfaced showing Diddy interacting with federal agents while his alleged drug mule, Brandon Paul, was taken into custody following the raids. It all seems pretty shady.
And you walked up to me and said, "That's my artist." And I was struck by that. I'd never forget those words. That's my artist. And you were proud, man. And you were like, wow, this is a discovery of mine. And then she exploded. And then, you know, she lit up. How hands-on are you in terms of managing her career?
Well, we actually manage her now. We didn't manage her in the beginning. I signed her as an artist on Def Jam.
How'd you know? Where do you meet? Where do you find a girl like that?
She actually walked into my office. She has a lawyer, Scott Felcher, and he knew Jay Brown, who works with me, and they made the introduction. He played him the song, Upon the Replay, which was her first single she had already. And she walked into the office, and you know, I heard the record, and I was really afraid of the record. It was so big that I thought the record would be bigger than her.
Right.
I thought the record, she would be the Upon the Replay girl.
Forever.
Yeah, so, but I took the meeting anyway. I said, let me just meet her. And
beautiful
when
girl.
I met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into a room and her confidence, and she performed in my office.
And she was, what, 17 years old at that point?
She was 16.
16. And she has the confidence of it. She's like an old soul in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
So she walks in your office, and what, she just belts out a tune?
Belts out a tune, she performs, and I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
Wow.
Not as dirty as Jay Z, who has freely acknowledged grooming and pursuing Rihanna when she was just 16 years old.
A 16-year-old girl did it, you know, which is odd, but, you know, like I say, we grow up fast.
I love Jay, and I'm not. I want to say that too. And I just spoke to Jay this morning.
How is the sex? Is he hung like a horse?
Oh my God,
that's what Artie says.
It's unbelievable.
Is he?
Jay's one. Let me tell you something. No one can do what Jay and I do. Like for real. It's a trainer in this industry that I have genuine love for. Like real, diehard love for. It's Jay. For real.
You're strong. That was her first. Art, you think she and J Bone? You don't have to acknowledge it, Foxy. Just Art. Maybe some foreplay. Oh,
maybe
no,
a what?
Bonification boning.
Maybe foreplay. Do I look like I?
His mouth has been on your breast before, is what Art is saying.
Oh yeah, you think that?
Yeah, I think
you have to remember. I'm a lot younger.
Exactly. It's with Beyonce. He likes him younger.
I just needed a person who can take that position, that, you know, girl versus guy call and response, because that's what it is. It's just a fun girl versus guy type of thing.
He was like, okay, why don't we just talk about real life?
And I was like, give me 20 minutes.
Please don't give a fuck at how you move with them other mommies. I push the Z, eating shrimp, scampi with rocks larger than life. Fuck them Reebok boards, you made it known who your wife was.
I've been in since I was 15 years old, so it was like really getting a divorce. And
I guess sometimes people forget you started very young.
I started at 15, for real, real age.
It show.
Yeah.
I mean, they said we keeping it real. We talking real talk.
Right. No, for real. Like Jay could tell you, I would go to the studio and he'll have to pick me up from school and take me to the studio. Like I said, we have a different relationship. We have a special relationship, and Jay knows because Nas and I and Jay Z and I are two different friendships.
Like an ordinary point of view. It's like very controversial. You know, you got to speak about it. So it's cool. It's cool.
You guys get along pretty well.
Yeah. Fox, she's a baby, but she listens to me. You know what I mean? She's tough. You know what I mean? She's strong. She's a brat, but she listens to me, so it's cool. You know what I mean? Baby girl, she's good. She's cool people.
Allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right. I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
I met D-Rock just being out and being all at these places where he was as well. And he invited me to some event where I brought my friend with me, and my friend started dating Uncle Paulie at that time, which was the head of security. But that was back at that time. I don't know if he's still working there or not, but he was around for many years. I think he's pretty much well known in the industry. And so they started dating, and I started to form a friendship with him, more like a brother-sister friendship over the years. And that's kind of how we started doing business together. At first, obviously, he did not know about the girls or all my other businesses, because my goal was to be a manager or A&R in the music industry, setting up tours, anything like that. That's how I that was my long-term goal. It was not to be a madam or run escort services. That was just a means to survive in New York. As you know, it's very expensive there.
Yeah, without a doubt. And so you're figuring that out. That's all happening, and that's when you get into the sort of the Diddy scene, the Diddy parties, etc. We have to be careful on some of the keywords we say, but substances were then brought in, and that's when things and women. And then at a certain point, you were asked to bring in certain amount of substances more than you were comfortable with, correct?
Right, but that was through through Uncle Paulie. That was not for the party. So there's a difference between the parties and the studio and so on. That was just small amounts. But then, obviously, for me, it was not even the interesting part. Like with those substances, it was more like for parties, favors, and for the clients, right? And then if someone asked me for it, I would just give it to them. It was not even about making money, it's just more like getting favors for favors, right? That was more my way of dealing with it. And since that they were taking a liking into that product, they asked me to just set up, or they just wanted to know who my connect was, right? Which I was not able to give out. And then since he did a lot of favors for me, I kind of felt obligated, being naive, at that time I was 24, obligated to set him up with a bigger amount.
Additionally, there's testimony from Knives Goni, the madam of an international escort ring. She recounts encountering Diddy while she was working with Sony. Before long, she began frequenting his parties and attending his exclusive events.
It's really odd because we used to go to these poker parties up in Harlem, like private parties. And then he asked me one night if something happened because he invested into something, if I could bring some drugs over the border. And I said, no, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I'm scared. And again, I'm a girl, right? I'm not like a street person or anything, especially at the time, but I just wanted to be down and be the person that they can count on, right? Because they have hooked me up with a lot of things in the industry, with parties, events, with people, so I felt obligated.
According to Gadoni, Diddy and his associates would ask her to smuggle drugs on their behalf. Diddy reportedly made it clear that refusal would lead to serious consequences.
And you then eventually begrudgingly agree to do this smuggling run as a favor.
Right, but no, it was in New York, so I did not go over the border or anything. I just hooked him up with a substantial bigger amount. I was meeting his friend that he introduced me to on an Upper East Side restaurant, like a luxury place. And the second I went in there, he kind of made a comment of like, oh, I have the money, which was really loud for the fact that we were there like a little bit, you know, not to be out there. And that second, the feds stormed the entire restaurant. They took me down into handcuffs. And I was really, again, very naive. I didn't know exactly what was happening. Why was that happening? This is a friend of his. So, and I didn't really understand as well the American system, right? How you can even set somebody up. Because as far as I know, it doesn't work like that in any other country, especially not where I'm from. You can't just do a crime and then set somebody else up so they're doing the time, you know? So I did.
Although Ghani did her best to assist Diddy, she quickly realized that he was loyal to no one. To save himself, he would readily throw anyone under the bus.
That guy that said I have the money, if we both got arrested, as they claimed, he would have been my co-defendant, but he wasn't because he was an undercover agent. Uncle Paulie never got arrested, right? So that means he collaborated with that undercover agent from the DEA, right? And after that, when things are kind of like, you know, when I went to Rikers Island and now I understand what my charges are and so on and so on, they obviously wanted me to rat out who was my connect and who are my clients from the escort service, right? And obviously I didn't talk to them about it. I did not give out any names. So I had to figure out, okay, how can I kind of drop down my time a little bit in that sense, because I was looking at a pretty substantial amount. I've talked to different people. One of my really good friends is Gene Deal, as he has been very big on this whole P. Diddy situation, has been talking about it for years. And he has told me that, look, in the streets, it's known that Uncle Paulie has been a rat. And the reason was because when all that stuff happened with the BMF, right? We go back to the Black Mafia family, which the drug ring has supported all the businesses of the music industry, right? Somehow Puff was probably involved as well, not maybe personally, but the crew around him. And a lot of people got arrested in year 2005 and 2006, but some people never got arrested, even they were very deep involved in it, right? And those people probably have to now work as a confidential informant. I'm not saying that is exactly how it went down. That's just like how it makes sense and how it has been talked about.
Diddy has managed to evade numerous allegations over the years, and according to Knives, it's because he's an FBI informant.
Implies then, because I'm with you, how does Diddy's right-hand man not know that he's an informant for the feds right out the gate, right? And threw you under the bus to get it. Why are they trying to get your person? Are the feds covering up for Diddy? Are the feds working with Diddy to wipe out the competition because you're bringing some small party favors to a party? Are they trying to bring their own in? You know, there's a lot of questions my head then goes to. Why were the feds coming after you and not?
Ghani also mentioned that Diddy's former bodyguard, Jen Deal, suspected that Diddy was working with the FBI to protect himself.
Diddy's former bodyguard tonight, alleging that Diddy was working for the FBI as a confidential informant.
People don't realize this, brother. First and foremost, Puff has been dodging the legal system for years. Puff being, and this is documented, Puff being a CI for an FBI agent. They was taking some papers up to the FBI, so like when he was here in New York. They was taking paperwork up there and stuff like that. Don't know what it was, but later on found out that he was a CI.
Now, Primetime can't confirm this, but if Diddy was an FBI informant, it explains why he was giving a pass to wreak havoc, according to his producer's lawsuit. What Diddy wanted, Diddy got.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
All while he was cozying up to Hollywood figures like Harvey Weinstein and becoming a major voice in the Democratic Party with his vote or die campaigns for Kerry, Barack, Hillary, Biden, getting souls to the polls. For 2 decades, Diddy thought he was untouchable. But now he's had his house raided, tapes confiscated, and the feds are zeroing in on his flight records. Diddy's world's crumbling.
Keep in mind, John Deal has publicly stated that Diddy secretly recorded videos and tapes of numerous politicians, celebrities, and others. According to Deal, Diddy used these recordings as part of a deal with the FBI to keep his own criminal activities concealed.
Because they were not looking for me. They were looking for me to give up my connect. They were looking for me to give out the names, right? So when they went into my house, they had the wrong, I think, apartment number. So everything failed in that sense. They took all my money. So I didn't have money for a lawyer, but I had some money tucked away in Switzerland. So I was able to retain a lawyer, and those lawyers were actually able to clean out a little bit all the mistakes that the feds have done in that arrest, right? I decided not to talk, but obviously a lot of people were afraid of me to talk, and we are talking more about the clients of the escort service. And that way there was some favors open, and I was able to get a lesser sentence.
Do you think Diddy is also an informant for the feds? Before we even get to the recent allegations, the raids, based on your experience and what you went through, is that a possibility?
I personally think yes. That's just my opinion. That's not a fact. But I think yeah. With
Fascinating.
All the things he got away with so many things over the years. I mean, yeah, and he has a lot of power, right? And he bought a media company, so he has just, and he has these videos of all these influential people.
Let's be honest, those who understand just how dark Diddy's world is also realize that there's no way he could have evaded so many crimes in the past without being closely connected to the feds.
But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, fuck you. Hold on. Okay. All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fucking fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my coat car. So y'all niggas shut the fuck up about me. Now let me say it calm. You niggas shut the fuck up about Michael.
Right. A few years ago, people dismissed Canny as crazy for claiming that Diddy was working with the feds, but his comments are starting to make a lot of sense now. It's a chilling world if Canny is proving to be right. Not only did Canny call Diddy out directly, but he also shared screenshots of their exchanges where he accused Diddy of being an FBI informant. Diddy's response to these accusations was notably aggressive.
They can't control, you get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control LeBron James, they can control Jay Z and Beyonce. I know you, man. But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name.
Despite being labeled as crazy and out of his mind, Canny hasn't backed down from naming all of Diddy's alleged accomplices in his criminal activities.